Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Dine Dreams. It is Priestess of the African River Eagle, aka Ms.Z on this channel. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. If you would, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you're doing that and turning on your notification bell, because I did go live the last time I was on here, but a lot of people missed it. So please make sure you have your notification bell on. I'm trying to post every week, even though it's been a struggle. But hey, I'm on here, for the long run. So anyway, if you want to book a reading with me, please go to dinerdreams.com. That link will be in the description box along with the timestamps. Always check back on the shop. We do have a lot of things that sell out, but we update daily, okay? We update daily. You may find some bone kits. You may find some new bracelets. I can't tell you what's on there at a time, because it's like whatever we have time to do, we're able to put it on there. So please check back on the website if you're looking for spiritual work. And I will try my best to get back to you guys' emails, but I have a lot of emails that come in at a time, so it may take me a minute. I'm sorry, but it does take me a minute sometimes to get back to emails. I think that's it for the announcements. This is going to be a spiritual check-in, okay? I haven't done this in a while. We're going to be seeing where your spiritual journey is going, what's coming in for your spiritual journey, like what are you going to be looking forward to, and just overall check-in. All right, so this reading is focused on your spiritual path. Okay, so I have your choices here. You have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And so let's pull them up. I love these cards. You have the Bull Chief. This is pile 1. You have Chief Joseph. And you have the Sun Dancers for pile 3. So look at the image. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Pick whichever one resonates with you, and we're going to get right on into the reading. All right, so for those of you who pick pile 1, all right, so let's start off with this card, the Bull Chief. So a lot of things come to me, so let's start out with the card first. If you chose this pile, and you chose this card, the first thing I see with this picture is somebody who has accomplished a lot in their spiritual journey. You may be worn out, you may be worn down, from everything that you've done to elevate to this point, but I see an experienced person, okay? And when I say that, it doesn't mean that you have to be elderly. You can be, but you don't have to be, because for some of us, spirit, knocks on our door very early. I know one of my family members, it knocked on her door at about, I think, 5 years old. So, with seeing spirits and things like that. So for some of you, it might have started very early, and now you're an adult and you're kind of worn out. And for some of you, it probably started later, but it still has wore you out a little bit. But Spirit shows me somebody who is very accomplished with the wisdom that they now understand about life. And Spirit doesn't want you to become overwhelmed, okay, because there's still so much for you to know. So I think one of the messages for you right now is to also take healthy breaks, okay, from your spiritual journey, because if it's wearing you out, especially if you are watching this video as present day it is now, it is January the 31st, 2023. If you're watching this now, you are aware that there has been, massive amounts of death and all these things happening in the world. I'm sure that's overwhelming you, okay? But yeah, so Spirit speaks about basically you kind of having, at this point in your spiritual path, you kind of have a greater understanding of things, but it can be tiring because people don't see things the way that you see them, okay? So while they may be looking at the issue as like maybe a race issue, you may be looking at it like a more primordial issue. Does that make sense? They may be looking at it like just a male and female issue. You may be looking at divine masculine and divine feminine issue. So your mind is just on a bigger scale when it comes to the reason that things are happening. Okay, and I feel like in this pile, because I can relate to that, you see a lot of things going on, but you don't know how to stop it. You can't really control it, and you're still trying to find your place as far as trying to help as many people as you can. So this is why Spirit on you Spirit on your spiritual path right now encourages you to just take healthy breaks. And I see the crows arriving in the background. So you have a good support team in the spirit realm. You're not alone, okay? Just like you can see these things, they can see these things too, you know? You have to think about that. As a spirit guide, they probably see a lot of things going on that could be prevented, but they're not prevented because, humans have free will to do whatever choices they want to do. And so that probably frustrates a lot of spirits in the spirit realm. And so you're kind of relating to them more. You're relating to what they see on a daily basis, okay? But yeah, so I see a chief. I see someone who has, graduated in a lot of different ways. So this is good. And there's still more growth for you. That's why they're telling you not to be wore out right now. Don't be wore out already because it's more to come for your spirit journey. This picture while I'm shuffling. And that's the thing too. Spirit says don't get caught up in trying to save everyone. That's not your job. You can put out the help and allow people to come to you to receive help, but it's not your job to save everyone. Spirit also says with this card that you're no longer afraid of a lot of things that you used to be afraid of in the past, whether it was spirits, whether it was people passing away in certain instances. Like you're no longer in that energy of certain things, certain spiritual experiences that you see. The crow is flying by. Certain spiritual experiences that you see and things like that, you're no longer afraid of these things. So you can expect more things to happen to you. Spirit monitors how well you receive things. And so with the bull chief, it's kind of like you're going straight at it, like you're not running from anything, okay? And the first card you have out is Hour of Power. Yeah, you have a strong connection to the Creator, God, Source, higher spirit, supreme being. Like you're very much in alignment. Like you're doing work that, the spirits on the other side do just in this round, okay? This is going to be a good reading. All right, let's stop there. Yeah. Lots of rites of passage, okay? Lots of initiations, lots of change, With every initiation comes a new beginning, comes a change, okay? And so you're going to continue to see that on your journey. Just be aware, that's what you're looking forward to as well. You've already had a lot, but you're going to see a lot more as more spirits come to you, as more spirit animals, like with me, certain spirit animals come to me. So that could be the same thing for you. It could be certain beings that you need to meet, certain ancestral paths that you have to take. Spirit says be aware of the journey because you still have yet to see everything that's going to come to you, okay? Field of plenty. But that speaks to me in the way of the heritage thing that I was just speaking about. Like there's a lot of heritage with you. So, you may go through initiation with one side of your heritage, but then you have to go back to the other side. And I notice the crows keep riding down very low. Okay. But I see allies and support. That's the next card I was going to read out. Something about them coming down to your level in a way. I think, there's a relation to understanding what it is that you're going through. Okay. Wholeness. You should really, and this is just for your own, health and things like that, mental health and stuff like that. You should really still be living your life and still find completion in the things that you do. Yeah, then they rise up. You shouldn't be so much of this world, Don't get caught up in all of the sadness of the world just because you can see it, okay? Because understand that your spirit guides see this every day. And they have to continue to keep living. They have to continue to keep operating in that space. And the crow finally falls off. So, I'm sorry, not falls off, but flies off. So that was the message. All right, anyway, you have, burden basket. Don't burden yourself. Don't burden yourself with every problem. That's not the job, Some of you are messengers. And so that job can be a heavy weight, but it's just like the mailman. The mailman ain't supposed to always, really ain't supposed to be doing it at all. But you know, I'm speaking about a spiritual mailman. But anyway, in comparison, the mailman drops off the mail. Sometimes that's good news, sometimes that's bad news, okay? But at the end of the day, you know, the job of the mailman is just to drop off the mail sometimes. Now, the spiritual mailman might get involved, but it ain't your job to always get involved, okay? Let's get a few more cards concerning your spiritual journey, what to look forward to on this journey, and we're going to move on. I like to prepare people for when I'm in move on because they'd be like, oh no, the reading's ending too soon. But, you know, gotta have you wanting to come back for more. Okay, let's see. I see a lot of abundance, so this is the thing. For some of you who have businesses that you're having to carry out these missions and things like that, whether it's a spiritual mission, you know, healing, you know, whatever you're doing, readings, whatever. There's going to be a lot of abundance in this field. So Spirit speaks about, you know, as you are blessing other people with these messages and helping them, you know, get through whatever trauma they're going through, whatever cleansing that they're needing, you're going to be blessed in return. But take those blessings and, you know, take a trip and enjoy yourself a little bit, okay? And they're talking about you often feel alone, but that is the path. That is the path normally of the hermit. Okay? So it's like you're being reminded of these things. Not gonna take it more since I got all that. Yep, see, I don't make this up. They're speaking on it. You being a traditional healer. You're a traditional healer, so remember that, you know, it comes with the territory. Some of you are going to be learning higher forms of divination if you don't already know some, okay? Rather it's bones, shells, rather it is, you know, spirit talking to you directly and you doing, you know, what is that called? Automatic writing. There's going to be another form of divination that comes to you. Don't let it go, okay? So I know some of you guys, y'all pick up things, and if it don't work out 2 days in, you're like, no, I don't have the connection, that ain't for me. But that's not really how things work, because you're building a communication with spirit. It's just like learning another language. You can't learn another language overnight. You know, you might get some things, but it can take years of practice to get something down to like the second back of your hand, you know? So people don't realize that. That's why, you know, it's hard for me to teach people things, because it's like y'all assume that it's just you pick it up and you're good to go, you know? Sometimes, very rarely. But the experience comes in when you're constantly working at things. So Spirit says be mindful of this, because some of the wisdom that's going to come to you, you're going to need some form of divination or some form of writing things down to really help you. Wisdom developed over time. Yes, and this speaks to this. Beauty and pride. So Spirit says be proud of yourself, you know, and it shows on you. I'm not sure how you carry yourself, but it shows on you that you are a very wise person and you're becoming very wise, okay? Now, you carry yourself a different way than you used to. Spirit says don't worry about, you know, things that you can't change, you know. Don't worry about those things. And you have my energy is assisting you during this time. You're going through major transitions. You have the medicine woman, and for some of you, that's the medicine man or medicine person, okay? Spiritual medicine healing provided. So this is the work that you're here to do, okay? Some of you are going to be working, and this voodoo, that's how I was going to look at. I said, this don't feel like it's for you. So what Spirit is saying is you're going to be working. This is why you got traditional healer right beside that. You're going to be undoing a lot of things that people have on them. This is going to be your future work if you're not already doing this. You may have clients or people that come to you that have a lot of baggage, okay? So just be ready for that. That is why you're going to have to get a higher level of wisdom. So you're going to have to take some courses or something coming up to where you can be prepared to get these spirits off of people. They're going to have a lot of spirits that on them, and Spirit says there's going to be a specific work or line of work that you're going to be needed for, okay? But you're going to be blessed in return. So I'm seeing people paying you high dollar amounts to help them with any type of really dark energy. But you're the bull chief, so you can do it. All right, let's go on to pile number 2. I could talk forever. Book of reading. Okay, so for those of you who chose this chief, Chief Joseph. All right, all right. Okay, so there's a few messages here just with the card. One, the first thing, let me go ahead and say this. Hope I don't forget nothing, okay? All right, so the first thing is some of you are going to be receiving spiritual names, okay? Because I noticed it says Chief Joseph, as in the first pile, it just said the bull chief. But this one adds in a name, okay? So there's something with your name already that you need to be looking into that, you know, speaks about your path. Or there's going to be a spiritual name that you receive. And I feel like it's going to be a combination. There might be something that you receive from somebody that you're going to combine with your name, okay? There's a certain invocation, certain things that you say when you call that name, that clan name. So Spirit says, you know, you want to add that to your medicine. You know, you want to add that to when you call on the ancestors and things like that. But I don't know, it might come to you in a dream or something like that for some of you. Okay, so for some of you, let me say it again, some of you, you're going to receive a spiritual name, all right? For some of you, it could be a name combined with another name. It doesn't have to be a spiritual name because names in general are spiritual, okay? So it could be a name from, and that's another thing too, talking over. That's another thing. If you have a name that was given to you for a special reason, or if you have your grandmother's name or your grandfather's name, you need to pay attention to your name. It holds power, okay? So when you're doing your spiritual work, you want to use it to invoke certain things, invoke your ancestors, invoke your spiritual powers. There's power in your name, okay? The next thing, and with that being said, the next thing Spirit is talking about, you discovering more things about yourself, and you also earning your stripes, okay? Because I see the eagle feathers, I see the hawk feathers, you know, in the war bonnet. So there's certain things that you're going to earn. And honestly, you've already earned a lot of stripes already, okay? Through some of the stuff that you went through. So I feel like this is kind of like a graduation for you spiritually, and there's going to be more things that you're going to graduate from coming up as well too. So I see a very determined outlook as far as your spiritual path. Let's see what else is coming up. Yeah, you may receive jewelry. You may receive feathers from nature. Like, they are preparing you for certain things, okay? Again with the mockingbird. Okay, so there's a message that comes in from the bird. Like you're receiving different things from different ancestors, so keep that in mind. Jewelry, like I said, sacred cloths and things like that. You're receiving different things from different types of ancestors, but this is going to get you well equipped to deal or face with whatever you need to face, okay? So I see a stronger practitioner in this pile. See? Rites of passage, and I got that in the other card. Spirit says that you need to be spiritually committed as well too. Spiritually committed to this path, because I can see for some of you, I'm not getting on all of you that chose this, but some of you, you start things and you act like you're serious with the spirits and the spirit guides, but then you lay off. You know, you'll be on the straight and narrow path for a minute, and then you're like, I want to go back to my old ways. Spirit says you got to be serious about this if you really want to develop yourself spiritually, in whatever way that means to you. They want you to be consistent with your path, okay? Don't fall off because other things are happening in your life and you feel like everything's going downhill. Things are going to go downhill regardless, right? But that doesn't mean you fall off the path. And it's interesting that these same cards are coming. But for you, in this pile, they're speaking about like you need some time. You need some time reserved. You need to reserve some time, like a reserved parking lot. You need to reserve some time for your ancestors and your spirit guides, because they're speaking of an hour of power, an hour where you give to your spirits and they give back to you, okay? Ooh, that just fell out. Truth as protection wants to come out. All right, you got standing people. Yeah, roots and giving giving. They're wanting to give you things from your roots. It's already there, but it's like kind of like reminding you, you know, I want to give you this. I want to give you, you know, my, like with me, I always say feathers because, you know, I'm a feather collector when it comes to spiritual things, initiations, and all those things. But, you know, example, feathers. The gift of a feather is extremely powerful, especially if you know how to use it. So Spirit says, keep in mind the things that you are given. Rather, it is a sacred rock that you found at the beach or something. I don't know. Keep those things around you because they actually do help with the things that you're asking for. You may ask, hey, I want to bring in some abundance, and you go get a river rock, you know, and you just think that you're just picking it up because it's just something, a souvenir, but it's not. Spirit says that these things come to you and you're supposed to keep them because, you know, it actually does the things that you were asking for it to do, okay? So it may not be nothing for you, but it actually is something. Pay attention to the things that you ask for because they may not come in a way that it can. A rock can't tell you that it's there to ground you, right? You just have to know that. Yep, different viewpoints and options. Yeah, you're sending out smoke signals to the guides and spirits, and it's like when they answer you, that's why this is in reverse. When they answer you, you can't make sense of what they're trying to show you. Okay? But, you know, that's probably why you need to do a little bit more of reflection and a little bit more meditating. Because the answer isn't always going to come in some type of like billboard sign. Sometimes the answer can come in you picking up a root from a tree. And that root is going to help you connect to your ancestors. You know, you don't know, right? So just keep that in mind. Spirit says stop worrying so much too, okay? New abilities are coming for you, new abilities. If you've been feeling stagnant as far as your gifts or you're wanting to, you know, learn more about what you're gifted at, just be patient. And also you have to de-stress. If you're stressed out, your gifts can lag in certain ways, okay? You can miss certain signs, you know, you're not picking up on certain things. It's due to stress. And also I get the energy in this pile that you may try to be perfect a little bit when it comes to your spiritual journey. Like, you know, you want to look a certain way, you want to be seen a certain way, but you don't have to do that, you know. What's real does not have to be, you know, proven to anybody. You wake and breathe spirituality. Every time you wake up, you know, that's a spiritual thing. Let's get a few more cards for this pile. Let's see what's coming in for your spiritual journey. Yeah, many ancestors coming forth. I see that. Lots of growth. Yeah, a lot of you have been asking about that in this pile. Like when it comes to spiritual attacks and things like that, like you're asking about these things and spirit gives you things or they give you techniques or you'll run into something at just the most convenient time to help you, but it's like you may not pay attention to those things. You may just think it's just a coincidence. Spirit can't always jump out and grab you, so understand that your spirits are always around you. They say you don't value what it is that you have. So some of you are very gifted, but you don't even value it, you know? Like you could probably read the energy of the room, but because you can't read minds, you think that, you know, you're lacking in gifts or something. Like reading the room is an important thing too. So don't underestimate your spiritual gifts in comparison to somebody else. But that's funny though with this card with the smoke signals, because they're constantly saying that you're sending out smoke signals that you need this and that you need that. And it's like when they give it to you, you don't even see it as, you know, oh, that was a response from them, okay? So learn how to recognize your spirit guides. Yeah, they're talking about your foundation as a traditional healer. So what this means is, you know, Again, learning what is your spirit guides, learning how to identify them, learning how to notice them. I do have a class on that too. Some of you had taken my class on how the ancestors communicate and things like that. Learn these things because you will be able to identify when spirit is speaking to you, when spirit is answering you. Because some of you, the thing is, that's the thing I want to leave you with. You don't have any problem calling on your spirit guide. Some of you think you have an issue with calling on them. Like, I call on them all the time and I'm not getting a response. They come. With them saying this, they actually hear everything that you're putting out. It's just the fact that you don't understand in the ways that they're coming to respond to you. Look, that's just, look, can't make this up. Offering accepted. Happy, loyal to practice. That means that offering accepted means that you put out the offering, you put out the intent. They don't always have to say, yeah, we got the offering. They're telling you right now, we accept your offering. They just want you to be loyal to practice, be consistent with them, you know. But you know, they're seeing the things that you're doing, the work that you're putting in spiritually. And again, with the stress, okay. They say strength, you carry the world on your back. Also, I see in your spiritual future, there's going to be a marriage. If you're already married, it could be someone who, like if your partner isn't as spiritual as you, they're going to be joining, you know, you spiritually on this journey. So you're supposed to help them. If you're not married, I see that you're going to get married, and this is going to help improve your spiritual journey. Like you're going to, all I see is two spiritual people coming together and everything making sense, okay? So the union is going to be stronger on a spiritual level, on a soul level. Also, let's see. Yes, we live by rituals and prayer, blending in with the bush, meaning in order to be in alignment with nature, you got to be one with nature, okay? So stick to your rituals and prayer, stick to your routine, okay? And then you become a part of nature in that way. All right, so that's pile 2. Let's go to pile 3. All right, so for those of you who chose this card, the Sundance Pledgers, the Cheyenne Tribe. All right, so let's see what's coming towards your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. All right, so this one is interesting, very, very interesting to me, because what I'm getting from this card, is ancient rituals, because the sun dance or any type of indigenous dance that they come together and do, there's a specific time. There's a specific time. And even with the stuttering thing, I do feel like that's spirit coming through, you know, to talk to you in certain ways. Like some of you may speak in tongues if you were a Christian in the past. I don't know if you're a Christian now. Some of you may have, or this is the thing too, like some of you, because I've had that happen to me, where you have an ancestor come in your dream speaking a different language, you know, or you feel like you understand a different language even though you don't know any words that are being said, okay? You have an interesting set of ancestors coming to you, and so this one folds different ways. For some of you, it's ancestors who are trying to communicate with you, but they're very indigenous. They're very like, you know, back in the day, you know, before colonization, before we, you know, the colonizers came and changed things and stuff like that, like before then. And so they still operate this way, these ancestors, and I don't think they're going to change. Like they want you to figure them out, that type of thing. But they have gifts for you, you know. They have ways that you can call down the rain, and ways that you can use the sun energy to grow things in your garden and in your life, you know. So there's ancient rituals that they don't want to change, you know, with the times, because, you know, if it ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. Like, this is the way that we did it, and this is the way we want you to do it, okay? But there may be a communication barrier there, right? So it's more like a feeling in your soul and your being. So, but I don't know how you're gonna find these answers. I guess they already with you, right? But This pal, I would really suggest, you know, if you haven't already, your future assignment, you know, what's coming towards your spiritual path is really diving deeper into your research about your ancestry, okay? Because these ancestors, like I said, they're not trying to compromise who they are and what they've done in the past, because it still works to this day. Like there were, and this gives me the energy that some of your ancestors, this may not be for everybody, but some of your ancestors may have, some of their ways may have been lost with the descendants going down the line. And this is so funny because I have not had trouble speaking in these past 2 readings. So I already know what time it is when that started happening. All right, let's see. It's coming towards your spiritual journey. What's going on with your spiritual path? See, these are shamans, or what we call shamans, you know, spiritual people. They're speaking. It says we live by rituals and prayers. When I see these pictures, it's almost like they're talking to me in a way. It's hard for me to explain that, but they start coming to life in my eyes. And so with this next card that comes out, we live by rituals and prayers. They're saying that, if that makes sense. Anyway, blending in with the bush. They want to show you how you can go in nature and be invisible and be protected by the animals that everybody is afraid of, right? You know, they want to show you how to do those things. They want to show you how the trees can talk to you when everybody just thinks the tree is just a tree. They want to show you how, you know, the butterflies can bring joy. Those type of things. Like they want to show you how animals and things communicate. This is old rituals. And they're very, very serious about these. These are old rituals from your ancestors that they feel like are not as, you know, prominent as not. Now, people still do these things, but there may not be many who continue this tradition, these old rituals, okay? Look, I don't make that up. You have the oracle. And you have, yeah, these are, look, and it kind of looks like this, the little mask, it kind of looks like this, just a little bit, you know. But anyway, the point is they're speaking about these rituals protecting you. They're already protecting you, but they want you to learn how to do these same things, these dances and all of these things, okay? And they're speaking about they're going to come to you either in your dreams. You know, maybe you meditate on them and you can also see them, but they're wanting you to pay attention to your visions. They can also show you how to communicate with the deceased. If some of you don't know how to, or if it's not as fluid for you, they can show you how to do mediumship, these type of ancestors. And, you know, it may not be in the way people fabricate it in Hollywood, but they can show you a way. You know, different tribes have different ways of doing things. Not everybody does the same things. That's why people have to understand gifts are very, very unique, and they can be very unique to a certain tribe. Okay? So they want to show you that. Okay, so there's a little bit of a story here, okay? For your ancestors, they were often accused of things that they weren't doing, and this is why some of the traditions were lost. You know about witch trials and things like that. Well, it's kind of the same thing with your tribe back in the day. They were probably framed a lot for doing things that they didn't do, or their ways of tradition, their ways of life. Like back in the day when we had issues with people, you know, way back in the day, we just handled it ourselves, right? We handled it amongst ourselves with a knife, a sword, with an arrow and things like that. But as things became more modern, we allow the government and the president and all those type of things to come into play to where we have to get permission or we have to have it approved for someone to receive justice. You know, that's not how they used to operate back in the day. All right, but anyway, the principle is any type of thing perceived as witchcraft or, you know, dark and things like that, which it wasn't, but if it was perceived that way because people were afraid of your ancestors, you know, it was a crime, basically. It was a crime. And I believe to some degree they thought they might have killed off your tribe, this old tribe or something like that. They might have thought that they got rid of them in some type of way, but you survived. clearly, because you're here today. You survived. There's still descendants. And so they're still assisting in the other round. So this one is a really, really different. It comes off more like an ancestral reading than your spiritual path, but it still deals with your spiritual path. Hold on. Let me get a few more cards and I'm going to close out on this one. Yeah, their practices were wrongfully accused, like this card says. And the cold mind, the thing about this is I feel like it's also a representation of what happened to the spiritual practices. They were buried underground with the ancestors. They were buried, you know, just like they got rid of the ancestor, they tried to get rid of the practices as well too. So this is something that I'm sorry, most likely you're going to have to uncover through like the dream realm and stuff like that. So it may be hard to understand these ancestors, but you know, it's up to you to really pull this information, do your homework, get spiritual assistance if you have someone who could communicate with ancestors, those type of things to really get the answers. But it can be done with just you alone. Okay. Yeah, they were warriors too. They were warriors. They weren't just spiritual practitioners. They speak about give them an offering, you know, and this will help with giving them energy to communicate to you. They want to help you in where you struggle, okay? Because they see, you know, you could have things a lot easier if you use your spiritual powers versus your physical, because you are not just your physical self, you are also spirit being. So they say you rely too much on your physical self to do a lot of things for you when, you know, they relied on everything in unity. So they want you to learn how to use your spiritual self in order to help you out of certain situations. Last card. This one is a really good reading. They pulling out all these cards. I can't do all that. Let me one more card, please. Yeah, they want to help you. They want to help you to grow, okay? When you look at yourself, you're also looking at your ancestors. Keep that in mind. They want you to start expressing yourself more. Like they're wearing the painted, the paint on their face and stuff like that. Like they're expressing their spirituality. They want you to feel more free to express yourself. Look, advance. It's time for you to really, really hone in on your gifts. So this will help you to grow. All right, guys, I enjoyed this reading. I hope you guys did too. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below which one you chose.